Unit 4, Lesson 15. Get out workbook page 293. Pause the video until you're ready. You just need that one sheet out. All right, once you are ready, it says we are going to solve problems using a bar graph. So it says 5 teams of students are riding their bikes after school to raise money for the computer lab. Every completed mile will earn the computer lab $2. The bar graph below shows the number of miles completed in 1 week. So let's just take a look at that for a second. So notice it's a horizontal bar graph. Look at the days on the side. We have number of miles completed. Kind of look what like the numbers look like on the bottom. They look a little bit goofy to me. So I kind of blew it up a little bit so we could take a closer look. Notice that not every single line is numbered. So we kind of have to make an assumption and kind of have to figure out what those blank ones are. So if we look, it has 0, then nothing is marked, then 20, then nothing is marked, 40, nothing's marked, 60, nothing's marked. What goes in between those? So think about that for a second. What numbers, if we were to number those, would go in between theirs? And you can absolutely number yours. Hopefully you figured it out. So you're counting by tens, and what they did is they left out 10, then they have 20, they left out 30, they marked 40, they left out 50, they marked 60. So you can fill those in if that will help you. They were just counting by tens, but they just marked every other line instead of marking every single one of them. All right, so let's look at number 1. Number 1 says, how much money was earned for the computer lab on Tuesday? So I put a big arrow there so you know right where Tuesday is. And you can tell how much money was, or how many miles they went. That's how many miles completed. But remember that every mile that they ride, they get $2. So every mile's worth 2. So if they rode 80 miles, we have to times that by 2. Or 80 plus 80, we need to double it. So 80 plus 80 would be $160 that they made on Tuesday for the computer lab. So you can write that in for number 1, $160. Number 2, how many fewer miles were completed on Monday than on Friday? Okay, so I even pointed them out for you. We are comparing Monday and Friday. When you are comparing two new numbers, you add or subtract. So think about that for a second. When you're comparing two numbers, you will be subtracting. Be careful because remember those aren't marked. So if you want to write in on the bottom, the 10, 30, 50, 70, 90, you can if that makes it a little bit easier. So look how much they wrote on Friday and compare that or subtract that from how much they wrote on Monday, and that will give you your answer. Number 3, how many miles in all did the students ride? So now we are taking the miles for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You're taking them all and you're going to add them all together. Number 4, how many more miles did students ride on Monday and Tuesday combined than on Friday? All right, so I marked them for you. You are going to take Monday and Tuesday together. Combined means you want them together. We're going to add them together. So add Monday and Tuesday together. And then you're going to compare that to Friday. And when you compare, you subtract. So the first step is add Monday and Tuesday together. And then take that number and subtract Friday. And you will get how many more miles they rode on Monday and Tuesday than on Friday. Write that on your paper. Number 5, there are 4 riders on each of the 5 teams. If each student completed the same number of miles, how many miles did each student ride on Wednesday? Okay, so I helped you with this one. So they rode 40 miles on Wednesday, and there were 4 riders, and they each rode the same amount. So it'd take the total 40 divided by the 4 riders would be how many miles that they rode. So you are solving 40 divided by 4. Number 6, did students ride more miles on Monday and Wednesday combined or on Thursday? So this reminds me of another one we just did, and I put some green lines to help you. So we're going to take Monday and Wednesday, and we're going to combine them, which means we're going to add them. So you're going to add Wednesday, which is 40, plus Monday, that's 70. Get that total. Then compare that number to Thursday. When we compare, we subtract. All right, on the back side. Now we're going to look at a line plot. So we have the physical fitness coach asked her students to walk around a track 4 times. 4 laps equals 1 mile. She recorded their times on the line plot below. Okay, so number 7, use the line plot to solve this. What is the difference between the greatest and the least amount of time students took to walk 4 laps? I circled them for you. The greatest amount of time it took someone to walk that 4 laps was 18 minutes. The shortest amount of time, or the least amount of time, was 13 minutes. So what is the difference between 18 and 13? So think about what operation you do when you're looking for the difference between 2 numbers. Number 8, did more students complete the laps in 16 minutes or more, or in 15 and a half minutes or fewer? All right, I drew a big pink line there for you to help. We want to know, and basically you're just going to count the dots. Are there more dots on the 16 minutes and up side of my pink line, or are there more dots in the 15 and below minutes? So your answer is going to be 16 or more, or your answer is going to be 15 and a half and less, or fewer. So did more students complete the laps in 16 minutes or more, or in 15 and a half minutes or fewer? Number 9, how many students completed 4 laps in 16 minutes? So this one you're just looking at the line plot and you can just count the dots. All right. Number 10, the coach recorded the times of how many students? Each student is 1 dot. So how many total dots are there? Number 11, last one. How many students completed 4 laps in fewer than 15 minutes? So I drew an orange line for you. That shows anyone that completed it in fewer than 15 minutes. So the 15 minutes don't count. So any dot below 15, so 14 and a half, 14, or 13, how many dots are there? All right, when you're finished, put it in the basket and follow the instructions for the next task.